Some loves do not begin in this lifetime. They were not born with a first meeting, a first kiss, or a first word. They were simply remembered. In our last journey together, we explored the mystery of soul connections that survive time, distance, and even death. We spoke of loves that come from other lives, those that were never truly forgotten. But if such love exists beyond the limits of time, how do we recognize it when it appears before us again? Sometimes, the heart speaks before the mind can understand. It trembles, opens, remembers, and we find ourselves drawn to someone we've never seen, yet somehow always known. There is no logic in this feeling. No checklist that explains why a single glance can feel like coming home, or why a single voice echoes inside like a forgotten song. But that is the nature of souls. They speak a language deeper than words, and older than time. Have you ever met someone who felt familiar in a way that made no sense? Like reading a book you've never opened, but somehow knowing every line? These are the moments when the heart remembers. You may feel it as a sudden peace, or as an ache you can't quite explain. You may dream of them before you meet. You may see signs, numbers, places that keep leading you back. The universe has a gentle way of guiding us to what our soul already knows. And when two souls that were once one meet again, something stirs. Old stories awaken, old promises whisper. But this recognition is not always loud. It doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it's just a stillness, a sacred silence between two people, like a breath held across lifetimes. This journey is not about searching with your eyes. It's about learning to listen with your soul, because the truth is, your heart already knows the way. In this new chapter, we will explore how to recognize a twin flame, not by chasing a fantasy, but by honoring the signs, the sensations, and the deep inner voice that speaks without sound. Because sometimes, the greatest truths are not learned, they are remembered. And perhaps, just perhaps, you didn't come here to find someone new, but to find someone your soul never stopped loving. Let us begin. Not all signs come like thunder. Some arrive as a feather brushing your skin when no wind blows. Others as a soft ache in your chest when you pass by a stranger who feels too familiar. The soul does not shout, it whispers, it waits. Recognizing your twin flame is not about waiting for a lightning bolt. It's about learning to notice the subtle patterns that have always been there, like footprints in the sand, that your heart follows, even when your mind hesitates. You may begin to feel that something is changing. Suddenly, your dreams become more vivid. Faces you don't recognize walk with you through the night. You wake with a name on your lips, one you don't remember learning. You feel drawn to a place you've never been, or you meet someone and instantly feel as if they've lived inside you for centuries. There's a gravity to their presence, a familiarity that cannot be explained by time or conversation. And the signs come. Repeating numbers 11, 11, 222, 717. Animals crossing your path in unusual ways. Synchronicities that feel too perfect to be coincidence. A song that plays when you think of them. A sudden warmth in your chest for no reason at all. These are not just moments. They are echoes. Echoes from a soul that remembers the sound of its mirror. It's not about chasing every coincidence. It's about what these signs awaken within you. A stillness, a recognition, a knowing that moves deeper than thought. Sometimes the universe needs to speak in symbols because your soul understands symbols better than logic. That's why dreams carry truth. why art stirs something ancient inside you, and why silence with the right person can be more sacred than words. You may question yourself. You may wonder if it's all in your mind. But ask your heart. The heart doesn't lie. It remembers. There is no map for this journey, only signs. And the signs will appear when your soul is ready to see them. So pay attention, not with fear or obsession, but with openness. Because love, when it is real, doesn't come to confuse you. It comes to awaken you. And sometimes, before you even realize it, you are already walking back toward them, toward the one your soul chose long before this life began. And the signs, gentle, quiet, undeniable, are simply reminding you, you are getting close. Sometimes, what we call intuition is simply memory speaking in the language of the soul. Not a memory from this lifetime, but something older, something woven in the silence between your heartbeats. Have you ever dreamed of someone you don't know, but wake up feeling deeply connected, almost in love? Or walked into a place for the first time only to feel like you had already been there, like every stone and shadow remembered your steps? That's not imagination. That's remembrance. The soul carries memory the way the ocean carries the tides always moving beneath the surface. And sometimes, when the veil is thin, those memories rise like mist in the morning. You may meet someone and feel instantly drawn to them. They speak, and your body reacts before your mind can form a thought. Your hands tremble. Your eyes water. Your heart feels like it skipped centuries just to find this moment. That is not attraction. That is recognition. In dreams, the soul is free to wander. It visits places you once loved. It meets souls you once lost. And in those quiet hours, when the world is still, you may find yourself in the arms of someone you've never met, and yet you know exactly how they breathe. That's how the soul tells its stories. In symbols, in emotions, in fragments of what once was. Déjà vu is the echo of a step already taken, a reminder that your path is not new, only your eyes are. Intuition, then, is not magic. It's memory, a deep, sacred knowing that exists beyond logic. It's why you pause before saying yes. Why your heart tugs in a direction your mind can't explain. Why you just know someone is thinking of you and later they call. Your soul has lived before. It has loved before. It has made promises that the stars themselves witnessed. And when the time is right, those promises rise again through dreams, through signs, through the strange familiarity of a stranger's eyes. And your soul whispers, I remember you. You don't need to search for these memories. You only need to be still enough to receive them. Because sometimes, the truth doesn't arrive in words, it arrives in a dream you can't forget. In a street you've never walked but somehow know. In a person who makes your entire being say, asterisk, I found you again. Asterisk. This is the language of the soul. And when you start to listen, you'll realize it's been speaking to you all along. The journey of finding your twin flame is not one of logic, but of listening. And sometimes, when the heart is quiet and the ego steps aside, the universe begins to whisper. Not in grand declarations or loud moments, but in the little things. A song on the radio that plays exactly when you're thinking of them. A number that keeps repeating until it feels like it's following you. A stranger's words that feel like a message written just for your soul. These are not accidents. They are love notes from the divine. Some call it coincidence. But those who've walked the inner path know nothing meaningful is ever random. The universe speaks in signs, because words are often too small for the language of the spirit. You may see 11:11 on the clock and feel a strange warmth in your chest. You may glance at a license plate with their initials just when you were thinking of letting go. Or maybe a feather appears on your path, just after you asked for clarity in a silent prayer. These moments are not to be explained. They are to be received, like gifts wrapped in mystery. Numbers, especially, are one of the most common ways the soul communicates through the universe. 111 new beginnings, 222 alignment, 333 spiritual protection, 444 the presence of angels, 555 changes coming. When you begin to notice these patterns, it is not because they suddenly started happening. It is because you've started remembering how to see. Signs can come through nature too. A butterfly crossing your path just when you felt like giving up. Rain falling only after you've released a heavy truth. A rainbow in the sky after days of inner storm. These are messages, not metaphors. And deep down, your soul knows it. When you are on the path to your twin flame, the universe becomes your silent guide. Because it knows how sacred this reunion is. Because it witnessed the vows made before time began. And it wants to remind you, you are not walking alone. So when the world seems ordinary, look again. Ask. And stay open. The signs will come. Because love, true, divine, eternal love always leaves a trail. All you have to do is trust the path, even when it doesn't make sense. And listen, not with your ears, but with the part of you that still remembers the stars. When you meet your twin flame, something ancient awakens. Not just a feeling, but a knowing. It's as if your soul takes a breath it's been holding for lifetimes. And yet, with this profound love comes a wave of fear. A fear that doesn't make sense. Because how can something so beautiful hurt so deeply? That's the paradox of twin flames. The love runs so deep, it touches the places you've hidden even from yourself. This isn't ordinary love. This is soul mirror love. And when you look into that mirror, you don't just see their light. You see your wounds. That's why it can feel overwhelming. One moment, your heart feels like it's flying. The next, you're sinking into doubt, fear, or even running away. But this intensity isn't a punishment, it's a purification. It brings everything to the surface. Joy, longing, grief, abandonment, bliss. It's all part of the same sacred fire. Elizabeth Clare Prophet spoke of the twin flame as a divine experiment, where the love is not for comfort, but for awakening. When you meet this soul, you don't get to remain the same. They pull your truth to the surface. They show you the parts you haven't healed. They challenge the walls you've built around your heart. Because this love doesn't want half of you. It wants your soul, whole and unguarded. The emotional storms that come with twin flames are not signs of failure. They are the fire that melts the masks. They are the waves that cleanse old pain. They are the force that makes you feel alive, even when it hurts. And yes, the fear is real. Fear of losing them. Fear of not being enough. Fear of being seen too deeply. But beyond the fear is something stronger, the pull to return. The feeling that no matter how far you drift, you will always be drawn back. Not because of attachment, but because your soul's made a promise. To grow, to heal, to love without conditions. So if you find yourself feeling too much, it's okay. It means you are in the presence of something real. This kind of love is not gentle at first. It shakes you, breaks you, and then rebuilds you, softer and truer. Let it. Because only when your heart breaks wide open can the soul fully enter. When two twin flames meet, the connection is rarely just about the romance. Yes, the passion is undeniable. Yes, the bond is magnetic. But beneath it all, there is something even deeper. A sense that you came here for something more together. It starts as a whisper in the soul, a quiet knowing that somehow your union isn't just about the two of you. It's about what you were meant to bring into the world. You feel it in the way you both care about the same things: justice, healing, truth, awakening. You notice it in the way your conversations drift toward dreams, service, the future. And you can't shake the feeling that your paths were designed to merge not only in love, but in purpose. Elizabeth Clare Prophet taught that twin flames were not simply lovers across time, but co-workers in the divine plan. They are partners in a spiritual mission, two halves of a flame meant to light the world, not just each other. Together, they activate dormant gifts. Together, they remember what they promised to do long before this life began. Sometimes this mission is grand, to teach, to write, to serve, to lead. Sometimes it's quieter, to love deeply, to raise conscious children, to heal old bloodlines. But no mission is small when it is born from the soul. This is why twin flames often feel restless when they are apart. It's not just longing, it's the sensation that part of their life's meaning is missing, as if the compass of their heart is pointing towards something still unfinished. And when they come together, even briefly, there is an acceleration. Ideas flow, energy rises, visions unfold. It's as if being near one another unlocks a higher frequency. This doesn't mean the journey is easy. Twin flames may still struggle, separate, or take detours. But the mission remains like a thread of gold pulling them forward. Even in silence, even in pain, to feel this sense of shared destiny is not to control it, but to honor it. To say yes when the heart remembers. To trust that love, when aligned with purpose, becomes a force greater than desire. So if you've met someone who stirs both your heart and your calling, who makes you dream not just of being together, but of creating something meaningful, pay attention. It may be your soul recognizing not just a partner, but a purpose. And that, in itself, is holy. Meeting your twin flame is not like falling into a fairy tale. It's more like stepping into a mirror, one that shows not only your beauty, but also your shadows. This reflection can be so intense that it scares even the bravest heart. Sometimes, the love you feel is so overwhelming that it makes you want to run, to hide from the intensity, to escape the parts of yourself that this connection awakens. This is the story of the runner and the chaser, a dance as old as time. One soul runs, afraid of facing their own wounds. The other chases, desperate to heal and reunite. Neither is wrong. Both are deeply human. These tests are not punishments. They are invitations. Invitations to look deeper, to face what you've long avoided, to grow beyond your fears. When your twin flame triggers your deepest insecurities, it's because they are holding up a mirror to your soul. It's uncomfortable, but necessary, because true love is not about comfort, it's about transformation. You might find yourself asking, why does love sometimes feel like pain? Why do we push away what we long for the most? The answer lies in the soul's desire to heal. Old wounds must be opened before they can be healed. Old patterns must be broken before new love can flow. The universe tests your readiness. It asks, are you willing to surrender? Are you willing to trust the process, even when it feels like loss? And every test, every flight, every moment of doubt is also a moment of confirmation. Because even when you run, part of you never lets go. Even when you doubt, your soul knows this love is real. This push and pull is a sacred dance, a story of two souls learning to meet again. It's messy, it's painful, but it is also beautiful. Because through these trials, you discover your strength, your capacity to forgive, to grow, to love beyond fear. And in the silence between the storms, you find the truth. You are not alone. This journey, with all its twists and turns, is part of a greater plan. So if your heart feels torn, if you feel lost in the pull of love and fear, remember this: every step back is a step forward in disguise. Every goodbye carries the seed of reunion. Trust the path. Trust the love that will always find its way home. As our journey comes to a close, remember this truth: the love that comes from the soul is never lost. It transcends lifetimes, surpasses barriers, and weaves through the fabric of existence until it finds its way back to you. Love that recognizes does not forget. It lingers in dreams, in whispers, in the quiet moments when your heart is still. It carries the echoes of promises made long ago, promises that no earthly force can erase. Sometimes, the path is winding and filled with shadows. Sometimes, the journey tests you, pushes you, pulls you apart. But no matter the distance or the silence, love always knows the way home. There is a sacred rhythm to this reunion, like the tide returning to the shore. It cannot be rushed or forced. It flows in perfect timing, guided by the wisdom of the universe and the beating of two hearts that once were one. When you meet your twin flame, the world shifts. Old wounds surface, new hopes rise. The soul stirs awake, ready to heal, to grow, to love in a way that honors the deepest parts of you. And if you ever doubt the journey, remember that love's true language is recognition. A glance, a touch, a silence shared across a crowded room. These are the moments when the soul speaks. When it says, "I have found you again." So, trust in the power of your heart. Believe in the whispers that guide you. And know that no matter where life leads you, the love that your soul remembers will always find its way back. Because some loves are written in the stars. Some connections are eternal. And true love? It is never lost. It simply waits. Waiting for the perfect moment. Waiting for you. If this video touched your soul and made you feel the power of love that transcends time, please like and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Have you ever experienced a connection that felt deeper than this lifetime? Tell us your story in the comments. Your truth can inspire others on their journey. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a moment of our explorations into the mysteries of twin flames and soul love. Remember, love always finds its way, and your heart already knows the path.